The message came on a Tuesday. It flashed across every screen on Earth at the same moment, interrupting broadcasts, phone calls, and computer work. Strange symbols scrolled across the screens before shifting into English and other human languages. People of Earth, we are the Vexful. Your resources belong to us now. Surrender and you may live as our servants. In the Pentagon's main situation room, Captain John Miller watched the message repeat 3 times before the screens returned to normal. The room erupted in shouting and confusion. Quiet. John's voice cut through the noise. We need to verify if this is real or some kind of global hack. Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the presence of massive ships entering the solar system. They had somehow appeared past Neptune without warning. Earth's governments united in crisis as they had never done before. Lisa Bennett didn't sleep for 3 days after the message. As one of the world's top language experts, she was flown to Washington to analyze the alien communication. In a small room filled with computers and translation software, she noticed something others had missed. There are layers to their message, she told John during their first meeting. Lisa's red hair was tied back, her eyes tired but focused. The main text says one thing, but there are patterns in the background symbols. They're not just decoration. They're talking about harvesting and processing. Processing what? John asked, his military uniform wrinkled from too many hours on duty. Not what? Who? Lisa's voice was quiet. I think they're talking about us. Far beyond Earth's atmosphere, hidden behind the shadow of Saturn, members of the Galactic Council observed the unfolding events. 27 different alien civilizations made up the Council, and most had never paid attention to Earth before. The humans will be conquered within their lunar cycle, said Council member Zictera, a tall blue-skinned being. The Vexful technology is centuries beyond theirs. We should warn them, argued another member, whose body was mostly transparent except for a glowing central core. Our laws forbid interference with developing worlds, Zictera replied. We can only watch. Back on Earth, the president addressed the United Nations. We will not surrender our planet or our people. We stand together against this threat. The world's militaries combined forces under a joint command. Fighter jets were prepared, missile systems readied, and soldiers deployed to likely landing zones. Scientists worked around the clock to understand the alien technology from the limited data available. John Miller was appointed to lead the diplomatic team that would attempt communication with the Vexthul. He chose Lisa to head the language experts. Do you think we can negotiate with them? Lisa asked as they boarded a helicopter to a secure mountain facility. John looked out at the sunset. I don't know, but we need to try everything. And if diplomacy fails, then we fight. John's face was grim. For every inch of our world. In space, the Vexthul ships moved closer, now passing Mars. They ignored humanity's attempts at communication. Instead, they sent detailed demands for Earth's surrender, listing the planet's resources they intended to take: water, minerals, biological materials. Inside the Council observation vessel, one member recorded everything. The humans continue to prepare defenses despite the hopelessness of their situation. Fascinating. Such a waste, Zictera responded. Another primitive species that will be harvested and forgotten. As night fell across America, John Miller stood at a window, looking at the stars. Somewhere up there, the enemy approached. Lisa joined him, carrying new translations. They're not interested in talking, she said. Their latest message contains technical details for our processing. They see us as resources, not people. John nodded slowly. Then we make ourselves very, very expensive resources to gather. Across Earth, humans looked to the sky with fear and determination. They didn't know about the Council watching them. They didn't know they were just the latest in a long line of worlds targeted by the Vexthul. All they knew was that their home was in danger, and they would do anything to defend it. The first attacks would begin at dawn. The Vexthul struck without warning. Their first targets were not Earth itself, but the human outposts on Mars and the Moon. The attacks began at dawn Earth time, just as John Miller had predicted. Sam Carter was checking mining equipment when the alarm sounded throughout the Mars colony. He rushed to the viewport and saw 3 disc-shaped craft hovering over the main dome. Beams of green light cut through the protective shields like they were paper. "Everyone to the emergency bunkers," Sam shouted, grabbing his radio. The 37 colonists scrambled as the air began to hiss from the dome. Sam helped an older scientist to the sealed inner doors, just as the main structure collapsed. On Earth, military command centers received the distress calls from space. The lunar base went silent first. Then, one by one, the Mars colonies stopped transmitting. Only Sam's group managed to send a final message. "They've taken the water processors and mineral storage. We're hiding in the emergency bunker. They seem to be ignoring us now that they have what they came for." John Miller watched the satellite feeds with growing anger. The alien ships were efficient, taking what they wanted and destroying anything that stood in their way. "This isn't an invasion yet," he told the Joint Military Command. "It's a resource grab. They're taking our outposts first." "When will they come for Earth?" asked General Alan Ross. "Soon," Lisa Bennett said, entering the room with new translations. Their communications mention main harvest beginning tomorrow. In orbit around Saturn, the Galactic Council members observed with varying reactions. "Standard Vexthal approach," Zictera commented. "They take outlying resources first, then strike major population centers. The humans are reorganizing their defenses," noted another council member. "They learn quickly." "It won't matter," Zictera said. "No species at their development stage has ever successfully resisted the Vexthal." On Earth, Dr. Amy Rodriguez worked frantically in her lab at MIT. The military had provided her team with fragments of Vexthal technology recovered from earlier scout probes. She hadn't slept in days. "Their energy weapons operate on a fluctuating frequency," she told her team. "If we can create shields that adapt to these changes, we might have a chance." The first Vexthal ships entered Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. They were larger than the ones that had attacked Mars, city-sized craft that hovered without sound. Smaller ships deployed from them, heading toward major cities. Fighter jets scrambled worldwide. The pilots knew they were likely flying to their deaths, but they went anyway. Captain Linda Wright led the first squadron to engage. "Remember your training," she told her pilots. "Use evasive patterns, don't fly straight, and aim for what looked like sensor arrays." The battle was brief and devastating. The fighters' missiles exploded harmlessly against the alien shields. The Vexthal weapons cut through Earth's most advanced aircraft like they were toys. But Linda noticed something important before her jet was hit. The smaller ships have a weak spot where the lower gun connects to the hull. She radioed as her systems failed. Her jet plummeted toward the ocean. Sam Carter, meanwhile, had organized the survivors on Mars into a resistance unit. They watched as the Vexthal set up processing stations using Mars resources. "They don't seem to expect anyone to fight back once they've won," Sam told his group. "They don't post many guards." That night, Sam led a raid on the aliens' equipment. They couldn't hope to defeat the Vexthal, but they could disrupt their operations and gather intelligence. Back on Earth, the first ground battles began. Vexthal landing parties established beachheads on every continent. Human military forces fought bravely but were outmatched by the invaders' technology. By sunset, major cities around the world were under attack. The skies filled with alien craft. Humanity faced its darkest hour. But in her lab, Amy Rodriguez had just achieved a breakthrough with the shield technology. And on Mars, Sam Carter discovered a crucial weakness in the Vexthal armor. The war had only just begun. Kate Williams was not supposed to be on Earth. As a scientist for the Galactic Council, her job was to observe from a distance. But something about the human resistance fascinated her. Against direct orders, she had taken a small craft and landed in the forests outside of what remained of Boston. She looked human enough with a few small adjustments to her appearance. Her species, the Ardani, had evolved on a planet with similar conditions to Earth. Kate had studied humans for years, learning their languages and customs. Now she walked among them during their darkest hour. The Vexthul had established orbital platforms around Earth. Massive ships hung in the sky, visible even in daylight. From these platforms, they extracted water from the oceans and minerals from the ground using energy beams that cut deep into the planet's surface. Kate made her way to a military base hidden underground. She carried information that might help the humans, though sharing it violated every council law of non-interference. Something about the Vexthul attack felt wrong to her. The council's policy of watching species fight for survival seemed increasingly cruel. At a checkpoint, soldiers stopped her. Identification, a guard demanded. Kate showed the fake credentials she had prepared. I'm a scientist from the West Coast facility. I have data on the alien technology to share with command. They escorted her to a large room filled with maps and computer screens. There she met Paul Davis, a military strategist working on counterattack plans. Your credentials look perfect, Paul said, studying her papers. Too perfect, actually. Who are you really? Kate hesitated. Someone who wants to help. The information I have about the Vexthul is real. Paul didn't fully trust her, but Earth needed every advantage. Show me what you've got. In the council observation ship, Zictera noticed Kate's absence. Where is the Ardani scientist? He asked. Another council member checked the logs. Her shuttle is missing. She may have gone to the surface. Zictera's eyes narrowed. This violates our most sacred laws. If she interferes, both she and the humans will face consequences. On Earth, Kate showed Paul diagrams of Vexthul ships. Their energy systems have a cooling cycle every 14 hours, she explained. During that 2-minute window, their weapons are at reduced power. How do you know this? Paul asked. Kate ignored the question. Their communication relies on quantum entanglement. You can't jam it, but you can predict their attack patterns by monitoring energy spikes. Paul studied her with suspicion but wrote everything down. This could save lives. But you still haven't told me who you really are or how you know these things. Before Kate could answer, alarms sounded. A Vexthul harvester had appeared directly above their location. They're scanning for underground structures, Kate said, recognizing the energy signature. We need to evacuate. Paul ordered the base cleared. As they rushed to emergency transports, he noticed Kate seemed to anticipate the aliens' movements too accurately. You're not human, he said quietly as they crouched behind a fallen wall. Kate looked at him, then slowly shook her head. No, but I am on your side. In the council chamber, a heated debate had begun. Some members argued that the humans showed unexpected resilience and adaptation. Others insisted on maintaining the non-intervention policy. The humans have destroyed 2 Vexthul harvesting ships. One member reported, they're learning the aliens' weaknesses faster than any species we've observed. It won't be enough, Zictera insisted. And now we have a rogue observer potentially contaminating the natural development of this conflict. On Earth, Kate made a decision. As she and Paul reached a new resistance base, she revealed more than she should have. The Vexthul have a physical weakness, she told him. Their environmental suits can't handle certain frequencies of sound. It disrupts their nervous systems. Paul stared at her. Who are you? Really? Someone who's tired of watching worlds burn, Kate answered. 3 months into the war, humanity was still fighting. Small victories gave people hope, though the Vexthul controlled most major cities. Underground networks of resistance fighters communicated and shared resources across continents. Lieutenant Eric Mitchell led a team of 12 soldiers through the ruins of Chicago. Their mission was dangerous but critical: capture a Vexthul scout ship intact. Remember, we need it working, Eric told his team as they crouched behind a collapsed building. No shots to the engine section. Above them, a small Vexthul craft moved slowly, scanning for human activity. Eric checked his watch. According to Kate's information, The ship would need to land for system checks in exactly 7 minutes. "Get ready with the sound cannons," he ordered. Dr. Rodriguez's team had developed weapons based on Kate's knowledge. These sound cannons produced frequencies that disrupted Vexthul nervous systems without damaging their technology. The alien craft descended exactly when Kate had predicted. 2 Vexthul emerged, their tall bodies covered in armor that reflected the moonlight. "Now," Eric whispered into his radio. The sound cannons activated. Though humans couldn't hear the frequencies, they saw the immediate effect on the aliens. The Vexthul collapsed, their limbs shaking uncontrollably. Eric's team moved quickly, securing the ship and its unconscious pilots. Within minutes, they had the craft airborne, flying low to avoid detection. "Package secured," Eric reported through the encrypted channel. Heading to Foxhole. In an underground facility nicknamed Foxhole, Susan Howard waited anxiously. As one of Earth's top cybersecurity experts, she had been tasked with cracking the Vexthul communication system. "They're here," someone announced as the captured ship was brought into the massive underground hangar. Susan climbed aboard, connecting her equipment to the alien computer systems. "This is amazing," she said, looking at the symbols flashing across the screens. "I can use this to decode everything." Meanwhile, in a secret location, Kate met with a surprising visitor, another alien, similar to her in appearance, but with darker skin, had arrived carrying advanced technology. "I am Ren," the visitor said. "I represent the Tresk delegation of the Council." Kate was shocked. "The Council sent you?" "Not officially," Ren explained. "Several species, including mine, disagree with the non-intervention policy. We have been watching the humans closely. The Council will punish you for this," Kate warned. Ren nodded. "Perhaps. But we believe the Vexthul must be stopped. They have conquered 17 worlds before Earth. The Council has done nothing each time." Ren opened a case containing weapons unlike anything Kate had seen before. "These are for the humans. They can penetrate Vexthul shields." In Foxhole, Susan made a breakthrough with the captured ship's systems. "I can access their entire communication network," she told Paul and Eric. "They don't expect anyone to understand their technology, so their security is minimal." Susan revealed what she had discovered. The Vexthul aren't just here for resources. Earth is one of many worlds they've attacked. According to their records, they conquered 17 other planets. Paul thought of Kate and her knowledge. Are there other aliens out there watching this happen? Before Susan could answer, Kate arrived with Ren. Soldiers immediately raised their weapons at the sight of the second alien. "It's okay," Kate said quickly. "He's here to help." Ren placed his case on the table and opened it. "My people wish to assist humanity in their fight. These weapons will give you a chance against the Vexthul shields." Paul looked from Kate to Ren. "So there is a galactic community out there. And they've been watching us struggle without helping. Some wanted to help from the beginning," Kate explained. "But our laws..." "Laws," Eric interrupted. "Millions are dying, and you're worried about laws." Ren's expression was solemn. "That is why I am here now. Some of us have decided the laws are wrong." As they spoke, Susan continued working with the Vexthul systems. Suddenly, she gasped. "Their fleet is bringing in reinforcements," she announced. "A massive ship just entered our solar system. They're calling it a Harvester command vessel." Kate and Ren exchanged worried looks. "We need to move faster," Kate said. 6 months after the first attack, humanity was ready to fight back. Operation Thunderstrike would be their largest coordinated effort yet. John Miller stood before a room of resistance leaders from around the world, connected through secure channels. "Today we hit them all at once," John said. "Every continent, every major Vexthul base. They think we're beaten. Let's show them we're just getting started." The humans had spent months gathering intelligence, building weapons, and preparing. Dr. Rodriguez's shield technology had been mass-produced, allowing soldiers to withstand Vexthul energy weapons for short periods. The sound cannons developed from Kate's information were ready for large-scale use. Most importantly, the weapons provided by Ren had been studied and replicated. These devices could penetrate the previously impenetrable Vexful shields. The attacks begin at dawn, John continued. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. According to our alien friends, 17 other worlds have fallen to these invaders. We might be the first to beat them. As the sun rose over different parts of the world, resistance fighters emerged from hiding places. In what remained of Paris, soldiers wearing Dr. Rodriguez's shield generators approached a Vexful processing center. In Sydney, teams with sound cannons surrounded a landing pad filled with scout ships. Similar scenes played out in Cairo, Rio de Janeiro, Tokyo, and dozens of other locations. On Mars, Sam Carter had built his resistance group to over 100 people. They had spent months sabotaging Vexful operations. Now they prepared to hit the main resource processing plant. This is for Earth, Sam told his fighters as they moved into position. The attacks began simultaneously. The Vexful, used to easy victories, were caught by surprise. Their hierarchical command structure meant individual units struggled to respond without orders from above. In orbit, Susan Howard used her access to the Vexful network to send false commands, creating confusion among the alien forces. Ships went to the wrong locations, reinforcements never arrived, and defense systems temporarily shut down. In the ruins of London, a Vexful commander named Drathfor tried to organize a counterattack. His forces were falling back as human fighters pushed forward with their new weapons. "Impossible," he hissed into his communicator. "Their technology is too primitive." What Drathfor didn't know was that Kate was with the human forces, directing their attacks based on her knowledge of Vexful tactics. In space, the Galactic Council observation vessel watched with increasing amazement. Zictera could not believe what he was seeing. "The humans are pushing back the Vexful forces," another council member noted. "No species at their development level has ever done this." "It's because they're receiving outside help," Zictera said angrily. "The Ardeni and Tresk representatives have violated our most sacred laws." The debate was interrupted when a stray missile hit their cloaked ship. Alarms sounded as systems failed. "We're losing altitude," the pilot reported. "We need to land or crash." The observation vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere, trailing smoke. It crashed in a field outside a battle zone, its cloaking technology failing completely. Both humans and Vexful spotted the ship. Neither recognized it. The council members survived the crash, but Zictera was injured. As Vexful forces approached to investigate, human soldiers arrived first. They were surprised to find aliens different from the Vexful inside. "Who are you?" asked the squad leader, aiming his weapon at Zictera. Before he could answer, Vexful energy blasts hit nearby. The humans ducked for cover. "We need to move," one soldier said. "Hostile forces are surrounding us." The squad leader made a quick decision. "Bring them with us. They're not Vexful, so they might be friendly." As they escaped, Zictera realized he was now part of the conflict he had only observed before. For the first time, he would see the human resistance up close. Around the world, Operation Thunderstrike continued. By sunset, humans had retaken key locations on every continent. The tide was turning. News of the crashed council ship spread quickly among the alien representatives. Emergency protocols were activated, and a rescue vessel was dispatched to Earth. But the council itself fell into heated debate about what to do next. "Our observers have been compromised," said Nulka, a representative of the plant-like Florian species. "This changes everything." "The humans saved Zictera and the others," added another member, despite having no obligation to help unknown aliens. Images from Earth were displayed on the Council's main viewing screen. Videos of human resistance fighters helping injured civilians, sharing scarce food, and risking their lives for others had been collected by Kate over the past months. Now these scenes played before the assembled representatives. Many council members watched with growing respect. The humans fought with surprising effectiveness despite their technological disadvantages. They showed courage and self-sacrifice that impressed even the oldest species. Meanwhile on Earth, Zictera was brought to a resistance base. His injuries were treated by human doctors who had never seen his species before, but did their best to help. "Why were you watching us?" John Miller asked when Zictera was well enough to talk. Zictera hesitated, then decided the truth was already exposed. "I am part of the Galactic Council. We observe developing worlds but do not interfere. Even when those worlds are being destroyed." John's voice was calm, but his eyes showed anger. "It is our oldest law," Zictera explained. "Species must develop naturally, without outside influence." Kate entered the room, surprised to see her superior. "Counselor Zictera, I didn't expect to find you here." "You have broken our most sacred laws," Zictera said. "Helping the humans, giving them technology." "I couldn't watch another world die," Kate replied. "Not when we could help." John looked between them. "There are more worlds than Earth being attacked by the Vexthul." 17 that we know of," Kate said. "The Council has always just watched." Paul Davis joined them, bringing new reports from the worldwide offensive. "We've pushed them back from major population centers, but they're regrouping. Their mothership is sending down new types of weapons we haven't seen before." Kate made a decision. "We need to address the Council directly. They need to understand what's happening here." "They would never agree to speak with humans," Zictera said. "They will if you arrange it," Kate countered. Zictera considered this. His time with the humans had changed something in him. He had seen their struggle firsthand, watched their courage and determination. "Perhaps it is time for the Council to reconsider its position," he said finally. In the Council chamber, representatives from 27 civilizations argued about Earth's fate. Some wanted to extract their observers and let events unfold naturally. Others pushed for limited intervention against the Vexthul. "The Vexthul have violated multiple Council laws," Wren pointed out. "They harvest developing worlds without permission. They destroy civilizations that could one day join us. Our non-interference laws exist for good reason," argued another member. "We cannot make exceptions." The debate was interrupted when a communication request came through. It was from Earth, from Zictera himself. "I wish to present evidence directly to the Council," he said, "with representatives of humanity beside me." Silence fell over the chamber. This was unprecedented. "The human resistance has agreed to send 2 representatives," Zictera continued. "They wish to plead their case personally." After much argument, the Council narrowly voted to allow it. Kate prepared John and Paul for what would be humanity's first official contact with galactic civilization. "Remember, most of them have never considered humans as equals," she warned. "You need to show them why Earth deserves their help." As they prepared to leave, the Vexthul launched a massive counterattack. They had intercepted communications and learned about the Council's involvement. "We will destroy any world that aids the humans," the Vexthul commander broadcast across all frequencies. The Council's decision had just become much more complicated. The Galactic Council chamber was unlike anything John Miller had ever seen. The vast room held representatives from 27 different species, some looking almost human, others completely alien. John and Paul stood before them, the first humans to address the assembled council. "The people of Earth thank you for hearing us," John began. "We fight not just for our world, but for all worlds threatened by the Vexthul." His words were translated by devices provided by Kate. The council members listened with varying degrees of interest and skepticism. "The Vexthul have attacked 17 worlds before ours," John continued. "If they succeed on Earth, they won't stop there. Even your worlds may eventually face their aggression." After hours of debate, the council reached a decision. They would provide Earth with defensive technology, but not weapons. They would not directly fight the Vexthul, but they would no longer stand by and watch Earth fall. "It's not everything we asked for," Paul said as they returned to Earth. "But it's a start." The defensive systems arrived quickly. Council engineers helped install shields around remaining population centers. These shields could withstand even the strongest Vexthal weapons. Protected by these new defenses, humanity prepared for its final push against the invaders. Captain Miller developed a bold plan. A strike team would infiltrate the Vexthal mothership to disable its main systems. "This is our best chance," he told the assembled team. "With their command ship disabled, their forces on the ground will be disorganized." Lisa Bennett had been studying Vexthal communication patterns for months. She had made an important discovery. "They cannot understand sacrifice," she explained to the strike team. "Their culture is based on rigid hierarchy and self-preservation. The concept of giving your life for others confuses them." "How does that help us?" Eric asked. "It means their security systems aren't designed to stop someone who's willing to take extreme risks," Lisa said. "They can't imagine anyone would deliberately put themselves in deadly danger." The strike team consisted of 12 people, including John, Kate, and Eric. They would use a captured Vexthal scout ship to approach the mothership, then break into separate groups to hit different targets. Meanwhile, Sam Carter's Mars Resistance prepared to cut off the Vexthal's resource supply lines. Without materials from Mars, the invaders' production of new weapons would slow dramatically. Susan Howard would coordinate a worldwide cyber attack on Vexthal systems. At the exact moment, the strike team reached the mothership. As they prepared to leave, Paul handed John a small device. "From the Council," Paul explained. "It records everything. They want to observe our final push." John understood the importance. The Council was still watching, still deciding if humanity deserved their full support. The captured scout ship lifted off under cover of darkness. Susan's hacking skills kept them invisible to Vexthal sensors. As they approached the massive mothership hanging in orbit, John felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "Remember," he told his team, "we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting to show the Council that humanity deserves to survive." The scout ship docked successfully, attaching to a maintenance port. The team moved silently through the alien corridors, using Kate's knowledge to avoid detection. At the center of the mothership, they found the main power core. While Eric's team planted explosives, John and Kate headed for the command center. Across Earth, resistance fighters prepared for the signal to launch the final coordinated attack. Dr. Rodriguez's latest shields protected them. The weapons provided by Ren gave them fighting power. In the council chamber, representatives watched the humans' operation with growing amazement. Even skeptical members were impressed by the courage and tactical skill displayed. "They fight with remarkable effectiveness for their technology level," one council member noted. "Perhaps," said another, "we have underestimated them all along." On the mothership, John's team reached the command center. The final battle was about to begin. The battle for the Vexthal mothership was fierce but brief. John Miller and his team fought their way to the main control systems, while Eric's group planted explosives throughout the massive vessel. Kate's knowledge of Vexthal technology proved invaluable as she helped override security systems. "We're in," John said as they reached the command center. 3 Vexthal commanders turned in surprise, not expecting humans to reach the heart of their ship. Kate quickly connected Susan's hacking device to the main console. "We have 5 minutes before they can lock us out," she warned. While John and his soldiers held off Vexthal reinforcements, Kate transmitted the ship's control codes to Susan on Earth. With these codes, Susan could send commands to every Vexthal ship and base around the planet. "Transmission complete," Kate announced. "Susan has control." The team fought their way back to their entry point, losing 2 soldiers in the process. As they escaped in their scout ship, Eric detonated the explosives. The mothership didn't explode, but its main systems shut down, leaving it floating dead in space. On Earth, Susan used the control codes to disable Vexthal weapons and shields. Resistance fighters around the world launched their final attacks. With their command structure in chaos and their technology failing, the Vexthal forces began to collapse. On Mars, Sam Carter's team took control of the main processing plant. Without resources from Mars, The Vexthul lost their supply lines for building new weapons and ships. The Galactic Council watched in amazement as humanity achieved what no other invaded species had done before. They pushed the Vexthul completely off their planet within days of the mothership's disabling. 3 weeks later, John Miller and Kate Williams stood in the council chamber again. This time, they came not as supplicants, but as representatives of a victorious Earth. The Galactic Council formally recognizes Earth as a sovereign world, announced the council leader. And we extend an invitation for humanity to join the council as its newest member. John looked at Kate, then back at the assembled representatives. Earth accepts your invitation. We have much to learn, but also much to share. The war had changed humanity forever. Earth's scientists studied the abandoned Vexthul technology, advancing human development by centuries in just months. The first human faster-than-light ships were already being built using council designs freely shared as part of Earth's membership. John and Kate became Earth's first official representatives to the council. Their experiences during the war made them perfect bridges between humanity and the wider galactic community. The council itself changed as well. The non-intervention policy was reformed, establishing new protections for developing worlds. No longer would the council simply watch as species faced extinction. We have learned from humanity, Zic-Terra admitted during the ceremony marking these changes. Sometimes helping is better than observing. 6 months after the final battle, Earth ships joined a council mission to free other worlds from Vexthul control. The 17 planets previously conquered now had hope for liberation. Humanity led the way, using their experience to help others fight back. In a quiet moment between missions, John found Kate looking out at the stars from a viewpoint on the council station. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" he asked. Kate smiled. "I hoped. That's why I broke the rules to help Earth. I saw something in humans that the council needed." "What was that?" "You never give up," she said. "Even facing impossible odds, humans keep fighting, keep trying. The galaxy needed that spirit." Below them, the first ships from the liberated worlds arrived at the council station. Former victims of the Vexthul now had a chance at freedom, thanks to humanity's victory. "We still have much to do," John said, watching the ships dock. "The Vexthul are wounded but not defeated entirely." "True," Kate agreed, "but they'll never again attack a world and find it standing alone." Across the galaxy, the story spread of how humanity had fought back against overwhelming odds and how the Galactic Council, after centuries of watching worlds fall, had finally learned to stand and fight alongside them.